Howdy, Banger pals. Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Metal Monthly Bangers Monthly look at what's coming out in metal releases. This month we're hitting June, and we finally found a location as loud and chaotic as my presentation style. They're looking for posers. If you're new here, this is a show where I find you the 5 best underground metal albums coming out every single month. I give them to you, but before we get to that, I always have a list of just the big noteworthy releases, so you can keep an eye out for those, pre-order any special edition vinyl, whatever you got to do. June 6th, we've got Gall's Word braiding the stories on Season of Mist. We've got Catatonia releasing Nightmares as extension of the Waking State on Napalm. And we've got Turnstile, Never Enough on Roadrunner. June 13th, you've got Fallujah releasing Zenithaf on Nuclear Blast, and Sigh, I Saw the World's End, Hangman's Hymn, MMXXV on Peaceville. What the hell? June 20th, you've got Cryptopsy releasing An Insatiable Violence on Season of Mist. You've got Malevolence releasing Where Only the Truth is Spoken on Nuclear Blast. June 27th, you've got Baby Metal releasing Metal 4th on Capitol. Drawn and Quartered are back releasing Lord of Two Horns on Nuclear Winter. And Sodom, yay, are releasing The Arsonist on Steamhammer. So that's the list of big stuff coming out. Now let's get into my 5 picks. The first one is quintessential Blayne, and then things get wacky and wild, go completely off the rails from there. So up first, we've got Morbyda with Under the Spell on Dying Victims Productions coming out June 20th. Up first, yes, if there's German speed metal, I'm probably going to put it in the show. Album cover features me on Sundays doing the stream, drinking from a chalice with my eyes bleeding from all of the terrible band photos I look at. Because as a reminder, we do research this show live on Twitch, 4 p.m. Eastern time every Sunday. Great way to find your new favorite band and your new least favorite band. So, yes, this is a German black and speed record on Dying Victims Productions. So I might as well have that tattooed on my face at this point with how much I recommend it, but I do think it is a little different than the normal kind of fare in that regard. One thing, they are not afraid to adjust tempo. They do slow it down a bit and let some atmosphere build. That's mostly where the Blackened's coming in. We're getting a little black metal atmosphere building, and atmosphere is my favorite part of black metal, so that ain't too bad. Also, the solos are kind of slower, and that would normally be a thing that I would hate, but here I wouldn't change a thing. Instead of an opportunity to just be fast-hand-fingered wizardry, they are, you know, building, growing, doing a little journey. It's awesome. It's these touches that help the record go a little further than you might guess from black and speed metal, because even I can admit the genre, a lot of records do sound exactly the same. I love it, so I don't care, but if you were considering typing out Blayne only recommends 3 bands on this show every month, then hey, maybe even you will like it. And if you're not a hating ass little bit, if you're normally on board with my picks, then this one is like absolute must buy for sure in Let's Go. And I haven't even mentioned the Rototoms yet. There's Rototoms, and they like pace them like they're great horror directors. They're like jump scare Rototoms. Every time you hear the Rototoms, you're like, oh yes, there's Rototoms on this record. And then just when you've forgot that there's Rototoms on the record, it comes back in like 2 songs later. It's so great. Rototoms. So good. And now things get really weird with Witherer, Shadow Without a Horizon on Hypaethral Records coming out June 20th. Now we shift gears pretty hard because what the hell is this even? It's from unspecified Canada, although a little bit of sleuthing probably reveals Toronto or surrounding area. We've got a classic blue black metal cover by Danielle Gauvin. Well, can't go wrong with a blue album cover on a black metal record, although this isn't really a black metal record. It's like, I guess if I had to put it in one category, it's sort of funeral doom, but if you hear funeral doom and you think, oh, like your friend's Bell Witch? No, nothing like that, although hilariously it is in the for fans of section of the little press release, and I'm like, I don't know about that, because yeah, it's funeral doom, but it's from the much smaller portion of the funeral doom bucket, which is already a small funeral doom bucket, which is the like upsetting, horrifying funeral doom, as opposed to like somber, respectful funeral doom. Like normal funeral doom you would play at a guy's funeral. This funeral doom you play because we're torturing a guy to death and he's gonna need a funeral. This is the perfect type of record to just slap extreme metal onto, but the word extreme has just been ruined. When I hear extreme metal, I picture a guy dressed like David Vincent in his Torturer's days, and no. I guess maybe it's funeral death doom, because they aren't afraid to kick up the tempo a little bit, and it is very aggressive, and there are even borderline brutal death metal vocals at some points, which I'm normally not a big fan of, but they've managed to sit it in the mix perfectly. It's really buried in there, so it just blends in well, and even a hating ass, even someone who's not a fan of that, like me, can get on board with it. Ultimately, this is a record that really needs to be heard to understood, so if I've piqued your curiosity at all, definitely give it a check out, give it a support. You know, weird anonymous metal from Canada. We love it. And let's keep the weird train going with Fer De Lance, Fires on the Mountainside, Cruz del Sur music, June 27th.
Shining in the forest, gleaming through the storm, lighting the spirit lifting. Well, once was night, shines ever bright, and keeps the living warm. I see fires on the mountainside, and with the light I see the forest gathering, multitudes of fires ablaze, transforming flesh, so nourishing, at the end of suffering day.
By the name Fer De Lance, you can probably guess the band is from Chicago. Oh, that's not. Anyways, they play epic heavy metal. We've got a great album cover by, it says here, Albert Burstad. I couldn't find his Instagram. If anyone can get me with the @ down in the comments. Oh, he died in 1902. Damn. R.I.P., homie. Taken too soon. Of all the micro-genres, you might guess funeral is the smallest, but epic is probably the microest of micro-genres. Funeral has 856 bands on Metal Archives. Epic only has 780. And if you type in -black to remove the epic black metal bands, because what the hell is epic black metal, that number gets even smaller with 532. And then if I could, in parentheses, put good, then that number shrinks to very small, because I'll tell you this, I've listened to most of them, and most of them, they ain't good. Not because epic is a bad genre, but because it's like one of the hardest things to pull off. I mean, it's called epic heavy metal. It's like it's called extra awesome heavy metal. Someone tells you they play epic heavy metal, and suddenly you're like, oh, really? I think I'll be the judge of that, sir. How do they manage to sound epic, though? Well, Fer De Lance really just, like, densely layers things, so they're just building, and there's always something to look at, and you're like, damn, this feels like I'm kind of in the middle of something epic. That works. They're also great at building tracks. Obviously, it's an epic heavy metal band. Songs are 10 minutes. You got to build to that, but unlike a lot of bands that build, the build itself is interesting. It's a nice journey, not a destination type of song. So, you know, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, what do you want from me? Also, little wink to the stream for this one. Yes, I included it. Smile. Yes, now I'm going to switch back to black metal, but the black metal has a twist too. Ooh, Eternal Dissonance, Through the Endless, Darkwoods, coming out June 17th. This is a Spanish atmospheric black metal band with a perfect for the genre album cover by Luciferium War Graphics. So I rarely do this, but this is an album I didn't have promo for. I've only heard the single, but instead of emailing someone for promo, I decided, hey, I really like this. I think I already really like this. Why don't I just get the nice experience of purchasing something and waiting for it to come out and just enjoying it like a normal human instead of being a spoiled little princeling who just waves his hand whenever he wants an album and goes, "Servants, bring me more wine." So why did I pop off about this so hard? Well, it is the perfect level of washed out I'm looking for atmospheric. Something about when it hits this spot, I can just toss it on. It totally relaxes me. It's like a cozy blanket, and I can just nod off to sleep in pure bliss. And speaking of being able to just experience something in pure bliss, it's instrumental. That's sick. It's very rare that we get instrumental stuff like this. I'm not a psychopath. I like vocals, but ooh, if you're going to give me a nice, relaxing, washed-out black metal record that doesn't have vocals, whoo, it's reminiscent, I mean, except for the vocals, it's reminiscent of my favorite underground black metal act, Witherer. So that's high praise coming from me if you're familiar with how much I'm obsessed with Witherer. So yeah, just great stuff. The only weird thing is, why does he describe it as post-black metal on the Bandcamp page? It's not post-black metal, dude. I've listened to the previous 2 albums. There's nothing post on here. Maybe he just couldn't decide on a genre tag. He's a little indecisive. He's had 3 releases with 3 different logos on each release, and the Bandcamp bio photo has a 4th unused logo. It's cool, dude. Relax. Just use the logo on the current album. It's the best logo. You nailed it. Now I just have to wait for a release day like a normal person. Now this is dumb. I'm emailing somebody. And hey, this month's Metal Monthly is brought to you by The Hidden Junk. Is that a green Smurf riding a split? Anyways, this month's written. But in actuality, this month is brought to you by you, because we have a Patreon campaign. You toss us a couple of bucks, I can shoot in the middle of a street. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, you give us a couple bucks, we can continue having these great production values, bringing you underground metal, and on the Patreon, there's bonus content. Sam Dunn just did a 20-year retrospective commentary on Headbanger's Journey, so you love Headbanger's Journey, we can go back in time with Sam, get some little bonus stories and stuff, and yeah, just, you know, thanks, guys. Thus, we come to our palette cleanse of the show. It's been a wacky and wild one, so why not a palette cleanse that's a little wacky in and of itself? Helms Deep, Chasing the Dragon, Nameless Grave Records, June 20th.
Walking through life in another man's shoes, wondering what you will do. Passing you by as you're wasting your time, counting regrets when you're old, bleeding at night when you want to feel high. Now you've got nothing to say. Burning as roses will not be a crime, burning, destroying your head.
This is Florida-based heavy metal. We've got an amazing sci-fi album cover by famed sci-fi illustrator Bob Eggleton. And let me tell you, if you're chasing the dragon, you better hurry up. This dragon's got rockets on its ass. So Helms Deep were a kind of come-out-of-nowhere 2023 smash hit. Alex Scarino was like, hey, I've got a band. We're not going to release an EP or a demo or nothing. We're just going to independently crank out an album. And it exploded. And then, because he's an absolute madman, he's like, hey, let's follow that up, and let's follow it up with a fairly large departure from the sound of the previous record. He's a madman. Where is the main change in the sound coming from? Actually, surprisingly, in his vocal range. Not like range as in he's like been doing vocal warm-ups. Like, he sings in a bunch of different styles. Sometimes he sounds like himself. Sometimes he sounds like 80s era James Hetfield. Sometimes he's blending the two. Sometimes he's doing the walls. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. It's really good. I can't believe he's not sitting there resting on his laurels. He's like, laurels? I ain't resting on my laurels. I don't even know what a laurel is. This attempt to push yourself after your first record came out and probably completely exceeded any expectation you have is why I'm such a big fan of underground metal, why I'm constantly pushing underground metal, why I do this show. Alex, you're a madman. You nailed it. Just look at this photo of him. This guy rules. Also, there's a track on the album called Black Sephiroth, and I know what a Sephiroth is, but when I hear it, I just hear Black Sephiroth, and I'm just now hoping a black weeb on TikTok turns that into a series of sketches. I'm going to stop talking before I get canceled. Cut Metal Monthly. Oh, wait. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. What records are you excited about? Let me know in the comments below. If you like the record, if you picked up a record, just toss us a subscribe, a like, a comment, usual spiel.